What's up, guys? This is Bulva the Fell-Handed. Today we have a standard battle on Thankful Ridge. The greens have spawned in the southeastern part of the board, and the reds have spawned in the northwestern part of the board. We are in the Batchat 25T French Tier 10 medium tank. We're going to begin by running the right flank. Now, an excellent spot to begin your sniping is more or less right on the 50-yard line, set around E8. That's a really good position to snipe from. The downside is if the reds push up too far, you're really going to start getting some heat on you. Not from necessarily the guys pushing the A line, but you're going to have some guys posted up around C5 that are going to get shots on you from that position. So you have to be aware of that as well. Now, if you decide to push up here and get some spots in, you're really going to have to keep your head on a swivel, or else you are going to get shot from those two locations I mentioned earlier. Now, as of current, we're kind of down here in this little trench here. The only thing really we need to be wary of in this location is the clickers. We do have a lichen pushing up directly in the center of the board, which is a very good thing for us. That being said, there's not a whole lot of shots we have except for this gentleman right here. We are just going to lather him up with rounds. We're putting him left, right, and center. He's kind of in a pickle. He kind of put himself in a very, very poor position, but in his present circumstance, you must understand there wasn't really a whole lot he could do but keep going forward, keep firing. Now, we are currently on a reload, 37.5 seconds. We're gonna, see if we can't be useful while the gun is down. We've got a lot of guys on the board, and hopefully we can kind of pull up here and perhaps even get some assist damage. Now, as you can see here, the reds have a lot of firepower right there on the A line, right at A5, B5. Now, if they were in this position and if that forward scout were to have survived, they would have really been in an excellent position to kind of make some things happen to us. Now, we did just fire there, put a round in the grill. We're going to try to see if we can't put a round in this gentleman falling back, but they're behind so much cover and they're in such good shots, there's not really a whole lot we can do to them right now. And as you can see back there, there's a lot of movement going on back there. They know we have a strong presence on this hill. Whomever gets the southeastern spawn side always has a good, strong presence. Put a round into the side there of the M103. And then we got SS 6 cents. We went ahead and pulled down there. Don't really want to get any return fire from the clickers. So far, we've been okay with the health. We took a round from that gentleman on the way, and then he got punished for it. But now we've kind of, got some good eyes here. We're getting some good assist on the Death Star here. Not really any good shots per se, but, we're still pulling assist, which is fantastic in my book. We have a few guys over here way out of line over there at D3, D4. No shots at present. And we still have some guys moving over there. Now, as you can see on our left flank, it's not really that strong. So we have to be aware that at any moment we're going to have to fall back and defend the cap. So you just have to be aware of that. You have to keep your head on a swivel. You have to know where the reds are at all times in this particular instance, because if your side isn't strong, your flank isn't strong, you are going to be the sole defender of that. And as you heard me say in multiple videos before, you always have to be aware what's going on, because you can't ever count on the greens defending the cap or the base or location. You have to defend on yourself, or at the very least the yellows. In this case, we do have some yellows we can count on. Still pulling some very, very good assist damage. I've got a couple of just Hail Mary shots here at the cap of this gentleman. It didn't happen for me, but you know what? We ended up getting that assist damage, and then boom, now we're back on another reload. So we're in a very good position right now to make some things happen if you will cast your eyes on the 2 line. As you can see right there, the reds are making a hard push down that flank. It may be time to roam out from cover here and get some things going. Now, the first thing on my mind is, hey, you know what, since we're this close to the cap, let's run over here, let's go ahead and let's punish these clickers, let's get them off the board. At the same time, you can't necessarily jump on the cap because they're going to have a high number of guys on the cap versus little old me, so there's not a whole lot going on as far as that goes. I'm not really concerned about even trying to get their attention off the cap. Now, that being said, you're always going to have campers, so you have to be aware of that. You have to more or less know where the reds are going to be. And you know, with your traditional tank destroying types, you kind of have an idea they're going to be loitering within a few hundred meters of the cap. That's more or less one of the essentials of the game. Now granted, of course, if I decide to run a tank destroyer, it will not be that close to the cap, just simply because I'm not that patient. You have to have the patience of a saint to properly utilize that particular vehicle. Now, we are making some aggressive moves over here. We've kind of got a gentleman right here slipping. We're going to try to put one into his tracks and stop him. We did successfully hit his tracks, but it didn't really slow him down. We've got a grill over there just kind of backing off. Now, I'm pretty confident the Death Star is not going to peek back up, simply because he knows there's nearly a full health bat chat up here, as well as another. The clicker is on the move. We've got the grill over here. We're going to try to just sneak around in him. He's not really playing ball. He's kind of wiggling back and forth, which is the right thing to do, especially with a vehicle with an aim time such as his. Put one right into the side of his turret barrel area there, and then now we're going to move on. As far as the game goes, you know, at this point it's anybody's game. We still have a lot going on. I'm very wary of the two tank destroyers. I don't see any green, so that tells me right away they're not engaged, so they're either going to make a run for the cap, or more likely they're going to come over here and send me back to the garage. Now, Bull does not want to be sent back to the garage, so he is going to try to finesse these two tank destroyers. Will I do it? Nobody knows. Now, the issue you kind of have to watch in this particular game is, you know, we are getting in the situation now where, as far as cap defense, the team as a whole has moved out significantly far away from the cap. So I am the only defense. Now granted, of course, when I get there I'll light things up, then the artillery, the clickers, can kind of help me out. But until then, if I don't manage to get there, we're just going to get capped out. So, you know, at the same time I want to push, I want to put pressure on the reds, but at the same time in the back of my mind I'm thinking, hey, we really need to have eyes on the cap. We need to know what's going on, because you know what, if our guy at A1 gets obliterated, we need to have a backup plan, and that backup plan is holding on to our own cap. Now granted, of course, it may not seem like that good of an idea, but you always have to keep good eyes on your cap, because that is how you're going to win. Now, we have a gentleman trying to creep up on our area. I've got some halfway decent shots. We put one into him, sneak another one into him, and you know, the Roomba right there just barely put a round into my tracks. So they were already moving up into a good position near our cap while I was falling back. So it was good I decided when I did to start falling back. If not, they wouldn't have had anything to kind of hold them back and make them think twice. You know, you would have had two tank destroyers just pushing our cap with little to no consequences. Now with the bat chat back here, they don't see him, so they're going to have that in the back of their head. Okay, where's this guy at? What's he doing? Where's he at now? And you know, the bat chat is kind of like the tank that can appear anywhere on the map and just make things problematic. Now we've got some good side shots right here on a Moss. We've got him scoped in. He's going to pull behind the house so we can't get any shots on him. That's always the case. The gun's never loaded when the gun needs to be. Now, lucky for him or me, I can't decide, he gets erased. I am spotted right here. I've got good shots on this Roomba that put rounds on me earlier. He's remaining stationary. I try to like flex on him there. It just didn't happen. He made a heck of a clutch shot. We go ahead, finish him out, and go ahead, dump the mag, force a reload. So we are back on the move. So far, you know, we're sitting on some good assists. We're sitting on some good damage. There's 2 remaining vehicles left, and we're essentially on the prowl. You know, this is when the bat chat really shines as an apex predator is in game. That's when that's when people are very, very nervous. If they don't have enough damage, enough alpha to straight one-shot you, they are going to be concerned, as they should be, because you know what? If you go in and they're, you know, your traditional tier 10 TDs, boom, hit you with 850, boom, hit you with 1,000, whatever, and it doesn't kill you, well, unless you have a friendly sitting right behind you, they're dead. That's just the long and short of it. Unless the bat chat operator just happens to fumble a shot or two, they are going to be getting sent back to the garage. So that's, you know, I would honestly say this happens for any autoloader. You know, even your AMX50B. Granted, of course, it doesn't necessarily... It does have the top end. It doesn't have the acceleration or the profile. You can see those things coming from a mile away. It's got a kind of high profile, you know, heavy tank situation. The AMX50B is kind of slow, so you just kind of have to think of that. So we put a round in this Death Star. He ends up connecting with me. He ends up low rolling. Didn't quite hit me where he needed to hit me. Essentially, it was just nothing more than a roll of the dice. Now, the other tank destroyer is located near that area. I go ahead and force a reload, because by the time I drive over there and get where I want to get, it's going to be almost time for me to have another clip in. And as a good bat chat operator, you've got to know when to perform a tactical reload. If I just drove over there, sure, I'd be ready to go, but I'd only have 3 rounds. Or however many I had. You know, this way I'm going to have a full clip. I can make some mistakes and still end up doing what needs to be done. And here we go. We're almost at the point, and the gun's just, you know, right there where it needs to be. Now, this gentleman has nothing to lose if he comes over here and murders me, which is exactly what he did. But, you know, I had that safety net. And that's exactly the way it should have been played. Now, you know, if you were the tank destroyer, if you're the Death Star, yeah, go over there and make it happen. So, 4954 damage, 3980 assists, so, you know, right under 9,000 damage combined. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. And if you go to Bullseye the Fell-Handed on Facebook, give that a like, and send me any kind of footage you would like for me to review or comment on. See you next time.